Hi friends, all of you welcome once again. Today lecture is we are discussing about isolation and separation of nucleic acids from E. coli. One more components or chemical components that we are using, especially um, deoxyribonuclease or DNAs. First we learn the action of DNAs. Usually DNAs are broken down the phosphodiester bond between the nitrogenous base. You know very well DNAs are exist in the two form. One is DNA is 1 and DNA is 2. Yes, here clearly mentioned DNA is 1 to act here and finally broken down this structure, and DNA is 2 to broken down here to produce this structure. So during the isolation of genome DNA, we going to incubate the deoxyribonuclease or DNAs. Without incubation of DNAs, deoxyribonuclease, this enzyme goes to catalyze our genome DNA to hydrolysis the phosphodiester bond, finally broken down to a small fragment of DNA. Yes, so please keep your mind. So we must incubate the deoxyribonuclease enzyme for prevent the phosphodiester bond cleavage. Yes. So how we incubate the DNA's enzyme means we can do it two important way. One is we can autoclave the buffer and the solution, a glassware or other apparatus using the isolation of genome DNA. So in the autoclave condition, in the case of 121 degree centigrade, the deoxyribonuclease get denatured or inactive. So that time the DNA is never act. Yes. Second way, you can add the corresponding concentration of EDTA. The EDTA is a chelating agent. It's also directly incubate the deoxyribonuclease or DNase enzyme by sequestering of Mg2 plus ion. Sequestering of Mg2 plus ion. Yes. So this can study in the later. Okay. So moreover, we can perform the isolation and separation of nucleic acid from E. coli, the entire steps at the range of 4 degree centigrade. So this temperature, the DNAs are never active. So this is the way to inactivate the DNA signature. Yes. Please, this is the important step. One more chemicals we are using, the name of the enzyme is called RNase. Why we are using RNase means ribonuclease enzyme means, so we want to remove the RNase proteins, carbohydrate and lipids. So first we remove the RNase because RNA similar like structure of DNA, so we can remove the RNA because it's considered as impurities in the isolation as separation of nucleic acid from E. coli. So treated with the cellular extract and the reaction mixture to the RNAs get denatured. We treated with the RNase enzyme A, so the RNase enzyme to react here to broken down the phosphodiester linkage in the RNA, finally produced nucleotides. Nucleotides. Moreover, this RNase is relatively stable. RNAs are relatively stable uh, against the heat. So we can the reaction mixture maybe goes to 80 degrees centigrade. The RNAs get stable. How it's stable means the RNA contains a number of sulfide bonds. The sulfide bonds will provide the stability to the RNAs to resist in the heat. And the reaction mixture maybe goes to 80 degrees centigrade. Yes, this is very important step. This is the only way to remove the RNAs. Number of RNAs, tRNAs, rRNAs, all RNAs are removed by ribonuclease enzyme. The next important chemical is proteinase K. Proteinase K is the enzyme to degrade the protein. But here, this proteinase enzyme to destroy or hydrolyze the all kind of protein, because the major portion of the cell made up of variety of proteins. Nuclear membrane. Suppose we are taking the eukaryotic cell, it contains nuclear membrane, enzymes, lot of enzymes, ligands, receptors, chaperones, antibodies, and other receptor specific ligands are made up of only proteins. So those proteins should be eluted in the case of isolation and separation of genomic DNA. Then only we got the genomic DNA, because proteins give a strong influence to the separation. Why? Because proteins are tightly bounded with the DNA in the form of histones. Yes, and also some of the proteins try to degrade the DNA. Yes, so those proteins are degraded or destroyed by the proteinase K enzyme. Moreover, the cell membrane or nuclear membrane also contains phospholipids, glycoprotein or sphingomyelin. These are the modified form of protein. Those proteins must be eluted. Yes. So those proteins are degraded by proteinase K. Here, simply explain. This is the yellow color indicates the protein molecule. This is the DNA. We can treat it with the proteinase K enzyme. So all proteins are digested or hydrolyzed. Yes. How it's hydrolyzed means the proteinase to broken down the peptide bond between the polypeptide chain, finally get digested polypeptides. So followed by we treated ethanol or SDS or isoamyl alcohol. We can remove the digested protein fragment from the reaction mixture. However, this proteinase K enzyme also hydrolyzes the both aromatic and aliphatic side chains. This is very important phenomena I mentioned here. Okay, this proteinase K digests the portion of protein of those molecules. Those molecules means glycoprotein, sphingomyelin, chaperone, receptor, nuclear membrane, enzymes, receptor binding protein. All proteins. Further, it digested the portion associated with the DNA also. So it digested the histone protein also. Yes. The protein made up of long chain amino acids. The histones are made up of long chain amino acids, even though the proteinase K digested the histone protein. Yes. Okay. Oh, first, the SDS to denature the histone protein, followed by the denatured single stranded protein was hydrolyzed by proteinase K. Yes, you must treat it with the proteinase K is more important in the isolation separation of nucleic acids. The proteinase K digested mainly hydrophobic amino acids. So it's digested aromatic and aliphatic side chain, and also it's digested hydrophobic amino acids, and it's also digested long chain amino acids. It's also digested the modified form of proteins. So all kind of proteins are digested by proteinase K. Yes. Even the protein exists aromatic and aliphatic. It can digest. Yes. Moreover, one more point is the proteinase K have high stability in nature when the proteinase K subjected into the 60 degrees centigrade. So this heat resistant enzyme. So this is the one of the additional feature of proteinase K. The average range of temperature it should active and digested the protein from 37 degrees centigrade to 70 degrees centigrade. So this is the additional feature of proteinase K. Next one is dissociation of protein DNA complexes. This is very important phenomena, but some of them not mentioned this way. You know very well both eukaryotic and prokaryotic genome always associated with the DNA binding protein called histones. So we dissociate the protein DNA complex by using some reagents, then only we isolate the genomic DNA or purify in form. Otherwise, we never purify the genomic DNA. So this protein DNA complex dissociation was achieved by mainly in the first reagent called sodium rudolph sulfate. I am already told this is an anionic detergent. So this detergent binds to the protein, and this anionic charge gives them to the histone protein, and the histone protein extensively anionic character. So you consider the DNA. This is a protein. DNA is negatively charged. The binding histone protein always positively charged. Highly positively basic proteins. When we add in the SDS provide the highly negative anionic charge to the histone protein. So DNA is anionic. The SDS binding histone complex are anionic. SDS are anionic. So this condition, the electrostatic interaction is disturbed. Finally, the DNA binding histone proteins are removed from the DNA. This is the main phenomena takes place during the addition of SDS to the reaction mixture. This detergent are used to stabilize the inner membrane and disturb the anion interaction between the positively charged histones. So finally we can consider or concluded SDS to play the two important roles. One is destabilize the inner membrane protein and disturb the ionic interaction between the positively charged histone protein followed by removal of histone protein from the DNA. Yes. So please keep your mind. One more function is the SDS, the secondary function of SDS to denature the deoxyribonuclease. How means the SDS denature the deoxyribonuclease, the deoxyribonuclease will become inert. So it can never hydrolyze the genomic DNA. Okay. So the favoring dissociation of protein DNA complexes is the alkaline pH. So the alkaline pH of the reaction mixture, it also provide for removing the histone protein from the DNA. Okay. So these all conditions are to favor removal of dissociation of protein from the DNA. Okay. Moreover, to ensure the complete dissociation of the DNA protein complex was achieved by removal of bound cationic amines. Bounded cationic amines. Bound cationic amine means histone protein, bound cationic proteins. We can remove all kind of histone protein is more important in the isolation of genomic DNA. Yes. How we ensure means we set the high concentration of salt, addition of NaCl and sodium percolate to the reaction mixture. This high concentration of salt will ensure the removal of all histone proteins from the DNA. Yes, because these NaCl or sodium percolate also involved in the sedimentation of the protein molecule. So please keep in mind. So the salt acts as diminishing ionic interaction between the DNA and cations. So this is very important. Here I clearly mention in diagrammic nature, this is cell lysis process. So we disturb the cell wall by using physical or chemical methods. So finally the cell become cell-free system. Yes. Once the cell-free system subjected to centrifugation to remove the cell derbids. So the largest cell derbids are deposited in bottom. So remaining molecules are exist in the aqueous phase. So first we separate the DNA, RNA and protein cell derbids. It contains minerals, carbohydrates, proteins and other cellular components.